What's good, guys? Long time no see. We're back at it again with the full card predictions, and this time, guys, I'm not gonna we don't have anything to recap, so we just get right into it. So I'm not gonna gish gallop, not gonna talk a lot. Let's just get into it. We got a 14 fight card, so I hope you guys have been looking at the card. I hope you guys enjoy the card overall, and I hope you guys have had a great day, great weekend. And we're back at it again, UFC Paris. Here we go. So without further ado, we got a 14 fight card. I love it. I love it. I love the new fight that was added as well. Rhys, McKee versus Axel, Sola. We'll be able to talk about it later, so let's break into it. Let's break it down. Let's dissect this card, just like we do every Sunday. Plus 220 for Shauna Bannon versus Sam Hughes, minus 295. You guys know me. At the beginning, I said I hate Sam Hughes, but I'm going to be honest, guys. Sam Hughes is very good at what she does, and she's a true veteran. Shauna Bannon is 7-1 overall. She's 4-1 out of her last 5. Her only loss is to Bruna Brazil by decision, which is very good considering Bruna Brazil just beat Ming Shi. I think Bruna Brazil is very tricky as well. 65-inch reach, 31 years old. She's on a 2-fight win streak beating Alice Ardelin, which I think is a phenomenal win. Alice Ardelin is very good. And 6 months ago, she got dropped by Buhat Umad and she managed to get an armbar sub win. Matched up against Sam Hughes. Hughes is a relentless pressure fighter. What I like about Sam Hughes is she's consistent. Obviously, sometimes she faces tough competition, but in all, we know what we're going to get with Sam Hughes. She has very good composure when she's in the octagon as well. Sam is somebody who I would consider to be a true veteran, or she's on her way to becoming one. 5-5 in the UFC, only 33 years old, 3-2 out of her last 5, losing to Pierre Rodriguez and Yasmin Uruguay. The Yasmin Uruguay loss is a little sketchy because Yasmin Uruguay's, she just lost to Ketlin Souza. But we know that Yasmin, is a little tricky for a majority of fighters. Most recently, she looked amazing against Stephanie Luciano. She's looking to put the pressure and grapple. She has 10 takedowns in the UFC. She's always looking to apply pressure, grind her way to a decision victory. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Hughes gets a finish here, but obviously, Shauna Bannon is very tough. So I'm going to go with Sam Hughes. Give me Sam Hughes, guys, and give me Hughes by 29-28, unanimous decision. Let's go. Let's go Hughes for the dub. I think she's a good parlay piece. I do have a rule of thumb, never bet the first fight. But, guys, I think this one we can let it slide. I think we can let it slide with this one. Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson. Minus 106 for Rinat. Andreas Gustafsson minus 120. This is a good-ass fight. This fight might get controversial, which is what I wrote a week ago. So I have my notes from a week ago as well. So it makes it a little bit easier, Rinat is a beast, only meant to beat Brian Battle in the UFC. We just saw Brian Battle in Dirty Boxing. I like that card. That card was phenomenal. I like the Misfits card as well. It was fun, bro. It was fun. I like these types of cards when we don't have UFC. And we get to talk about it as well. Rinat is only 33 years old, 4-1 out of his last 5. But the 1 is a draw. It's not a loss. Rinat is 24-2 and 1 overall. His only 2 losses are his very first pro debut against Aiguin Akhmedov, and he lost to Igor Serverid. He lost to both of those guys by decision, and that's what is tricky with Rinat. Rinat has issues where, sometimes he can make the fight a little bit more competitive than it needs to be because of the relentless pace, and he does get a little tired, and he does get catched, and he is almost getting finished in a lot of his fights. And I think this is a true test for both guys. Throws with intent, but sometimes his head is down while he's throwing, which is one thing that I do not like about Rinat. He's throwing with his head down, and he's, just trying to land, just trying to make things work in the chaos. Once on top, he has decent pop shots. I remember he controlled Brian Battle for almost 14 minutes. Once on top, he has decent pop shots. You know what? I remember what he did to Kevin Lee as well. Bro, what he did to Kevin Lee was crazy. He averages almost 4 takedowns per fight. He's not a great finisher, and he gets tired. He went 2-9 on takedown attempts against Carlos Leal, which is a massive red flag. Rinat even had a grappling match with Craig Jones, which is something I like to see. He's 5-0 in the UFC, matched up against one of his toughest tests yet, Andreas Gustafsson. Gustafsson can wrestle well. He's 12-2, only 34 years old. Gustafsson is the favorite. Guys. Slightly, but he is the favorite. One thing I like about Gustafsson, guys, is what he said his last fight. He said, I just went full, he just went full ham. He just went full ham his last time out. Gustafsson is on a 4-fight win streak, beating Tony by KO, Dominic by KO, Pat Piblick by KO, and he just beat Chaos Williams by decision. Gustafsson can hold you against the fence, comes forward, looks to drag you down. Once on top, great power, great bombs, and he always can look for a sub as well. His elbows are insane when he postures up and he has those massive elbows. That's what Rinat's going to have to be careful of as well. And Andreas Gustafsson is a finisher. He's something that Rinat struggles to do. He finishes people. He has that power, and we know Rinat has been getting close to getting finished almost each and every time out. He almost got finished by Zaleski. He almost got finished by Dalby. He beat Carlos Leal barely. The pick is going to be Rinat. I like Rinat by KO on points, but this is a sketchy fight, guys. Give me Rinat. I might pick flip on Friday depending on the weigh-in. You guys know the last-minute predictions. But, guys, for now, give me Rinat for the dub. Let's go, Rinat. Fakhretdinov. Let's go. Brad Tavares versus Robert Bryczek. Minus 235 for Brad Tavares. Plus 180 for Robert. Sorry, not Roberto. I'm thinking about my friend Roberto. Brad Tavares has fought the who's who at middleweight. Tavares seems to always find himself in a fight. He never quits on himself, and he is durable as nails. And, you know, I know the Hall of Fame is very particular in who they want to be in the Hall of Fame and stuff, but I do think that Brad Tavares deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. Considering how much time he has spent in the UFC, durability on Tavares has always been there. Tavares has only been finished 5 times, all by KO. Tavares is only 37 years old, 2-3 out of his last 5, with losses to Bruno Silva, Gregory Rodriguez, and most recently, Jung Young Park beat him by split decision. Tavares can go a full 15. He's good. He has that cardio as well. Decent boxing. I love his low kicks as well. And I love his most recent performance against Gerald Meerschaert. We know Gerald Meerschaert is a little bit over the hill now. But at the time, I know it wasn't that long ago as well. It was in 2025, 4 months ago. But it's still a good win in my honest opinion. I like it. Tavares is 16-10 in the UFC. He has a lot of miles on the body. Matched up against Robert. Robert is a boxer, always marches forward, decent feints, decent jab. He can be open to a takedown. He made his UFC debut against Ihor Potierra. He had low volume in his last time out. The pick is going to be Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares by KO on points, 29-28, unanimous decision. But I will say, guys, eventually Brad Tavares is going to lose. Like, you know, like sometimes you're following a fighter and then they just look old randomly. Eventually, you know, Brad Tavares is just going to look off and he's not going to be as good as, you know, he looked his last time out. So that's just what I'm scared of with Brad Tavares, but I do think he should be able to win this fight. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters is another banger scrap, guys. You know what I love about this scrap, guys? These guys are like the 2 tallest guys on the card. Minus 174 for Sam Patterson, Trey Waters plus 136. 6'3" Sam Patterson is someone who I'm very well aware of now. Sam Patterson is huge for the division, can get rocked, can get tagged sometimes, but his bread and butter is when the fight hits the mat. Great submissions, always hunting for the sub. He got KO'd by Yanel Lashmouche. He's on a 3-fight win streak, since then beating Johan by rear naked choke, Kiefer Crosby by arm triangle. We saw Kiefer Crosby fight at UFC Shanghai, and Danny Barlow, he KO'd him. I don't know how he KO'd Danny Barlow. He got him. I was picking Danny Barlow. I was one of those guys who was high on Danny Barlow, but now I'm very well aware of Sam Patterson. Matched up against Billy Ray Goff's father, Trey Waters. Trey Waters is also long for the division. Only 1 loss professionally. What I like about Trey Waters is his movement. He's slick. He has very good head movement as well. And I did like what he was able to do and stay composed against Billy Ray Goff and not fall into the firefight of Billy Ray Goff. Billy Ray Goff tries to bring you into the fire. Trey Waters is technical, 6'5", on a 3-fight win streak, beating Jalen Fuller by KO, Josh Quillen by decision, and he just beat Billy Ray Goff most recently. A year and 3 months ago, inactivities on Trey Waters' side. The fact Waters is taller than Patterson is crazy. Both of these guys are welterweights. Waters has a good jab, hands low, good footwork, movement as well. He does admire his work, and I do think that when you admire your work a little bit too much, like Loner Kavanaugh against Johnson, you can get caught. I'm going to go with Sam Patterson. He does leave his head up in the air as well. He doesn't move his head. He gets tagged up. He's long, but it's easy to get inside and tag him up. I think this is a banger scrap. Give me Sam Patterson. Give me Sam Patterson for the dub. If he can take this to the mat, he should be able to wrap up Trey Waters. Trey might have a hard weight cut. He hasn't cut weight in a long time. The pick is going to be Sam Patterson by KO on points. by submission on points. Give me Sam Patterson by submission on points. Let's go Sam Patterson for the dub. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. My bad if I keep on touching my hair, guys. It just gets a little itchy when it's in my face. Let's go to the next fight. Let's go. Axel Sola versus Rhys McKee. Axel minus 150. Rhys McKee plus 118. Guys, I love this scrap, guys. You know what I love about this scrap? I love it when they just add another fight. We got 14 fights on this card. I can't complain. Minus 150. And I cannot wait for that Perth card, bro. That Perth card is going to be lit. Minus 150 for Axel Sola. Rhys McKee plus 118. Newcomer, welcome to the UFC, Axel Sola. Shout out to Baby Sharp because Baby Sharp was telling me that Axel is actually pretty good. Rhys McKee just got his first win in the UFC. Rhys is 1-4 in the UFC. He lost to Hamza on his UFC debut, lost to Alex Moreno, got cut, came back to the UFC, lost to Angelos and Chidi Bang Bang, and he just beat Daniel Frunza in a pretty good fight. I picked Daniel Frunza. That was a fucking crazy fight. At 14-6-1, McKee is only 29 years old and has fought everyone and anyone the UFC has offered him. Rhys is long, good accuracy, a decent striker, has some surprisingly deceptive power too, and he has had some cage control, a new wrinkle in his game, matched up against UFC newcomer. This is a short notice bout for both guys. Axel Sola is a slight favorite in his hometown, 27 years old, undefeated, but he did go to a draw with Dagir Imavov. He's young, he's fast, decent boxing, excellent jab, low hands, good movement, great low kicks, a hole in the takedown defense. He needs to polish it a little bit more, but he does have the wrestling in his back pocket as well if he needs it. Speed will be on his side. This is going to be a crazy fight, guys. This is going to be a crazy fight. And in my honest opinion, guys, I'm going to go with Axel Sola. Sola's a slight favorite. He's in his hometown. Obviously, he's undefeated. Rhys McKee's tested. He's a veteran. He could definitely win this fight. Rhys McKee's the taller fighter. And also, Axel Sola's a lightweight. He's a lightweight, and he's moving up to welterweight. It's a short notice. Guys, that's a massive red flag, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think I'm going to skip this fight. 1-800-GAMBLER type of fight. This is going to be tricky because he's an undefeated fighter, and it's hard to pick an undefeated fighter because you have to face adversity in order to become better. I'm going with Axel Sola. The pick is going to be Axel Sola. Daniel Frunza was giving Rhys McKee some issues, but obviously he did get that doctor stoppage. Axel Sola, money line is the play. I like Axel for the dub. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a sketchy fight. Axel, you're going to have to be on point because this is a true veteran, and don't just think that this is going to be a walk in the park. Give me Sola for the dub. I'm just going to go money line. Let's just go. Let's not get fancy. Let's go money line. But Rhys McKee's a true vet. It's a true test for both of those guys. I cannot wait for that one. Let's go. My bad, guys. Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. -111 for Marcin Tybura. Delija -115. This is going to be a banger fight. This is a rematch. I completely didn't know that the last time that I broke this down, and I didn't mention it last week, so my bad, guys. I didn't know that they had a rematch, so I went to go watch it as well. Tybura fought Ante. It was in M1 Challenge 61. Marcin Tybura TKO'd Ante Delija with a leg injury in round 1. I don't take that fight into any consideration at all because that fight was all the way back in 2015. 10 years ago. I was 12 years old when those guys were fighting the first time. And now I get to see the rematch 10 years later. This is a rematch in the making. History in the making, guys. This is the rematch of the century, guys. So, welcome to the UFC. Former PFL athlete, 8-3. We got a lot of newcomers on this card as well. Former PFL athlete, 8-3 in the PFL, 4-1 out of his last 5. His only most recent loss is to Valentin Mardalovsky by KO punches and knees. Ante has 11 KOs, 7 wins by sub, and 7 wins by decision. He is now in the UFC looking to make a successful debut. He throws with intent, 6'5". He's 35 years old. Father Time gets to us all. Ante is slightly younger fighter, and I do think that he has more of a chance to win this fight than the first time that they fought. You know, you learn something. You learn something when you fight a guy. At 6'5", this guy is throwing bombs. Him being at 35 is what makes this tricky. Matched up against Marcin Tybura. Tybura is a true vet. You guys know I said this the last time out. I truly believe Marcin lost that fight against McParkin, but whatever. Tybura only attempted 2 takedowns against McParkin. But we learned that he is a little bit of a wet noodle on his back. You know, Tybura is better at being the hammer than he is the nail. 39 years old, 14-8 in the UFC. A true veteran at his finest. He throws with intent, sets up takedowns against the fence, drags, trips, singles, doubles. He has a low 33% takedown accuracy, and I think he's going to need his takedowns to be on point in this fight as well. Always looks to put the pace and make his opponent tired and overwhelm them. Tybura's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Saint-Denis by KO and McParkin by decision. And recency bias, guys, can sometimes get me. It can get me so much. And just because Tybura's on a 2-fight win streak, I can see him getting picked apart on the outside, getting tagged, not being able to get the takedown, struggling to get the takedown. The takedown gets defended. Ante Delija's putting up the pressure, throwing low kicks, getting in Marcin Tybura's face. But I am going to go with the veteran guys. Give me Marcin Tybura for the dub. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until Friday. Maybe I might pick flip. Give me Tybura for the dub. I'm going to go 29-28 decision. I truly, truly believe that the UFC level is very different from any other organization. Oumar Sy, minus 390 versus Brendson Ribeiro, plus 280. I hate this fraud, Oumar. I said that last time, guys, but I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, you know? Oumar lost. He needed that loss. I'd rather Oumar have that loss now than in a very important situation when he's on a bigger win streak. We need to lose in life, guys. We need to lose. Oumar Sy, in all, is a true specimen. He just has to pull it all together. A true freak of nature, naturally gifted. And we know with these naturally gifted guys, they sometimes don't work as hard as the ones who are not as naturally gifted. Oumar Sy is 6'4", only 29 years old, and it feels like he needed that loss. I already said this. Which Oumar Sy, he can start flowing. When he starts flowing, he's dangerous, and he's a dangerous striker. 8 finishes in his 11 wins. He was a minus 700 last time out. I don't care. This is a new fight. Matched up against Brendson Ribeiro. Ribeiro's 29 years old. Surprisingly, I thought he was older than that. He's still in his 20s, guys. Both of these guys are 29 years old. He is 17-8 overall. 2-3 out of his last 5. He's huge for the division as well. Brendson plots forward, looking to find openings in the chaos. He has dangerous subs as well. Ribeiro eats one to give one. If this fight hits the mat, he will look for subs, hunt for a finish. Ribeiro has been finished 6 times and KO'd 4 times. Out of the 6 times that he's been finished. He got KO'd by Azamat Murzakanov, and I believe Azamat is fighting Rakic. That's going to be a banger fight. Guys, give me Oumar Sy, but be careful putting all your marbles into one basket or all your eggs in one basket. I know some people say, you know, we'll just make more eggs. You know, if you put all your eggs in one basket, we'll just make more eggs. But I'm being serious, guys. Be careful putting all your eggs in one basket with Oumar Sy. I feel like he does a whole lot of nothing sometimes. You know, he's just staring at his opponent. And, you know, he looked bad against Alonzo Menefield, but I'm going to be optimistic about him this time out. I'm going to go Oumar Sy. I'm going to go by KO or sub. Oumar Sy, or even Oumar Sy by a lackluster decision. Give me Oumar Sy by KO or on points. Maybe he turns a minus, what, 400? Minus, what is he, a minus 390? Maybe turns it into a minus 360. Or maybe 350. Oumar Sy back here on points. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. My bad, guys. My bad. It's the mucus. William Gomis versus Robert Rachula. We have a lot of Roberts on this card, kind of. Ribeiro, R. You know, William Gomis minus 235. Robert Rachula plus 180. William Gomis can be a little bit annoying. But he is a point fighter, and he is a guy who deserves to be in the UFC. William Gomis is 14-3 overall, only 28 years old. Still time to grow, still time to improve. He is 4-1 out of his last 5. Most recently, he's coming off of a split decision loss to Hyder Emil. I think Hyder Emil got knocked out by Jose Delgado. Guys, it was a smaller octagon, though. I believe that was in the Apex. When he fought Hyder Emil. Yeah, I believe this was in the Apex. Yeah, UFC Apex. So the octagon was 25% smaller. I'm not going to give him too much slack for that loss. But that last time at UFC Paris, he did win. Sometimes the crowd, you just need the crowd on your side. Confidence is very important, guys. Look at Leon Edwards versus Usman, guys. You know, I think Usman beats Leon Edwards right now. It's crazy. If they were to fight for the 4th time. Alright, let's break it down. Most recently, he's coming off of a split decision loss to Hyder Emil. Looking at it now, it doesn't look... That's a pretty bad loss, but obviously it was a very close fight. And I could have gave that fight to William Gomis, but the judges didn't favor that. They favored the volume of Hyder Emil. He won, and he beat Joe Anderson Brito his last time out. Gomis is 6 foot tall, 73-inch reach. Hyder had the aggression. If you just get into William Gomis' face, he can sometimes have issues dealing with that pressure. Robert Rachula, matched up against Robert Rachula. He's a true athlete at 5'10", 72.5-inch reach. He's a grappler, 11-1 overall, 4-1 out of his last 5. His most recent loss, he lost by KO, soccer body kick. I don't think he's going to have to worry about that here, but if he is susceptible to the body, William Gomis to start throwing those teeps to the body kicks as well. Robert shoots, throws the kitchen sink at you. William Gomis may be a fighter that needs to have the crowd on his side, and he needs to have the confidence on his side. You know, I think of William Gomis like Leon Edwards, you know, like, you can see when Leon Edwards is not, like, when he's about to quit, you know, the second time that they fought Usman, the first time that Leon Edwards fought Usman, when he's getting taken down relentlessly, when they fought the second time before Leon Edwards got that fluke KO, and then Leon Edwards against Sean Brady. Leon Edwards is just, you know, you can see it on his face, he doesn't want to be there, and he's rolling his eyes, and he's looking up, and he's just gassed. I feel like William Gomis doesn't have a good poker face, but give me Gomis. I'm going to go Gomis by 29-28, unanimous decision. I like him by KO on points as well. We get more juice out of it, more squeeze. Let's go. Here we go. Patricio Pitbull plus 168 versus Lucene Keita minus 220. Both of these guys are very new to the UFC. Pitbull has already 2 fights in the UFC, and now the tables have turned. Now he's fighting somebody making his UFC debut. He was the one making his UFC debut not too long ago. Welcome to the UFC, Keita. There's a lot of guys that are, you know, welcome to the UFC. Welcome to the UFC. For how long, though? That's the true test. Pitbull is a great grappler and has a path here to victory in the wrestling department. I'm going to be honest, though, guys. Against Dan Ige, you know, I feel like that was more of Dan Ige not being enough, not doing enough, than Pitbull being good. Obviously, I could eat my own words. This could age like a bag of milk. But I do think that Dan Ige, looking back at it now, they were like twins, you know. That was a stylistically tailored matchup for Patricio Pitbull to win. A mirror match, you know. Pitbull had a very good opportunity in that fight as well. And Dan Ige is, I don't know, I don't really consider Dan Ige that good. I did pick Dan Ige, though. He managed to take down Dan Ige 5 times. I feel like Dan Ige is that guy that just stares at you and he doesn't have urgency. You know, after Dan Ige is getting taken down, I already knew, like, Dan Ige hurt Pitbull as well in the 3rd round. And Dan Ige doesn't have that urgency, you know. Same thing when Dan Ige fought Lerone Murphy. I just feel like Pitbull is a very good grappler, and it is going to be a tough fight. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Pitbull is a Bellator champion, former Bellator lightweight champion, and featherweight champion, and he attempted to get the bantamweight belt, but obviously that was a massive, massive weight cut as well. Matched up against Lucene Keita. Keita's only loss professionally is by foot injury. A highly touted prospect, 27 years old, from Belgium. The prospects have been losing lately, but I'm high on Keita. The pick is going to be Keita. Keita to keep this fight in the middle, avoid the takedowns, even if taken down, work his way back up. This is a super difficult debut. I love Keita as an addition to the featherweight division. Pitbull lost his debut and he's now fighting a debutant. Pitbull has that veteran, classy experience. Pitbull is 38 years old and will be shooting. I got Keita by KO on points. Keita by 29-28 decision. I think that if you're a finisher, if you have something, you know, you don't want to be that well-rounded guy like Dan Ige who doesn't have enough. I feel like Dan Ige didn't have enough, you know? I think Keita can shine in this fight. Give me Keita for the dub. Let's go, Keita. Let's go. It's going to be a tough fight. Excuse me, guys. Minus 310 for Faris Ziam. Kyle Ferrandis plus 230. This is one of my favorite fights on the card. Faris Ziam has knees made out of jelly. I said this the last time out. You know the thing that they put on the pregnant ladies? The petroleum jelly? That's what Faris Ziam's knees are. Faris Ziam lives up to his name, guys. His nickname, the Smile Killer. My bad for that notification, guys. I still can't believe Faris Ziam lost to Terrence McKinney, but guys, styles make fights. Imavov lost to Phil Hawes. We just saw Phil Hawes lose in Dirty Boxing, which is crazy. I still can't believe Phil Hawes beat Imavov. Since then, Faris Ziam went on a 4-fight win streak. Zaim is a true technician, a true elite striker, looking to lay the fisticuffs on his opponent. He takes his time, can point fight his way to victory as well, and he does have deceptive power. Matched up against Caio Fernandez. Caio's the reason Guram Kutseladze got cut from the UFC. Caio's a great striker, beautiful takedown defense, great speed, and great fight IQ on his side. Slick BJJ. Caio can be a bit flashy, but he's an animal in the striking department. Caio, only 2 losses come by decision. He most recently lost to Mark Jacasey by split. And Mark Jacasey got cut from the UFC because he was boring. He's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Muhammad Yahya and Guram Kutseladze. Caio was an underdog against Guram, showed levels in that fight. He's an underdog again. Mark Jacasey is a good wrestler, no shame in losing to him. The pick is going to be Faris Ziam. Faris is an excellent fighter in the clinch. I love the way he can survive and face adversity. His last time out against Mike Davis. And Mike Davis, I believe he was blaming the paint, you know, that they just finished painting, and he started painting. I mean, he started smelling that. I don't know. I think Zaim beats Mike Davis 10 times out of 10. The pick is gonna be Zaim by KO on points. Faris 7-2 in the UFC. He's more experienced. Faris by 29-28 decision. Momentum is important in the UFC, guys. Give me Faris Yam for the dub. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. My bad, guys. Had to let the dog out. Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Let's go. Modestas Bukauskas minus 330. Paul Craig plus 240. Modestas is a beautiful striker. Modestas was cut from the UFC and is now back. Modestas is 18-6, only 31 years old. 4-1 out of his last 5. His only loss out of his last 5 is to Vitor Petrino. Check hook. Modestas is timid. Can be way too technical sometimes. He has a negative striking differential, which is a massive red flag here. But he has great takedown defense and he has heavy hands. Modestas has gotten so much better since he lost to Khalil Roundtree. Matched up against Paul Craig. Craig is on his way to getting cut from the UFC. Craig is 1-3-1 out of his last 5. He had a no contest against Bellato, but I will say I think Bellato quit that fight. You know, I think Craig was on his way to, you know, actually winning that fight, but obviously it was very fast. It was very fast, but I feel like, I don't know, Bellato didn't want to be in there. My bad, guys, my bad. I feel like Bellato didn't want to be in there. Paul Craig is 9-9 in the UFC, a true specialist in the submission game. 13 wins by sub, that's his bread and butter. Paul has terrible takedown accuracy, but if it's on the mat already, guys, this is the only guy to submit Magomed Ankalaev. He's the only guy. Modestas follows him down into his guard. That's where I can see Paul having success. Paul is on a 3-fight losing skid, losing to Bo Nickel, Kyle Borralho, and Brendan Allen. And all in all, those are true top of the food chain middleweights. Modestas is going to be the pick. I like Modestas by KO. Modestas by KO round 1 or 2. Let's go Modestas. I think one thing for sure, this fight won't go the distance. Let's go. Balahi Oki versus Mason Jones. This is going to be a banger scrap, guys. Balahi Oki plus 132. Mason Jones minus 170. Balahi Oki versus Mason Jones is a banger scrap. Oki is a decent striker, has heavy hands, looks to keep this fight in the middle and set the pace. Decent takedown defense, but he can be open to a sub. Oki is only 29 years old, 4-1 out of his last 5. His most recent loss is to Chris Duncan by guillotine. He can get tired the longer the fight goes, but guys, we just saw Oki look good against Michael Laswell, and that's a very important fight because I believe that was on short notice. Balahi Oki was supposed to fight Marco Medeiros, and he actually ended up fighting Michael Laswell. I do think that Marco Medeiros fight is still on the radar. I do think that for either of these guys, but obviously we got to get through this fight first. He's coming off of a great short notice win over Michael Aswell, matched up against Mason Jones. Mason Jones, second time being in the UFC. Mason Jones was cut, I believe, after losing to Ludovic Klein. My bad, guys. It's runny. It's the pollen. After losing to Ludovic Klein, he's now on a 5-fight win streak, back in the UFC with the win over Jeremy Stevens. Mason Jones, Stutter Steve. Mason Jones had a war with Jeremy. Great get-up game. He can wrestle if needed, and he has great takedown defense. Jones is composed, managed to take down Stevens 8 times. 7 KO wins for Mason Jones, 3 wins by sub, and 6 wins by decision. Mason Jones looks to create chaos and find openings in the chaos. Mason Jones being the favorite makes sense, but both of these guys have a puncher's chance, and anyone can win this fight. It's going to be an absolute striker's delight. I do think that this is going to be one of my favorite fights on the card, guys. I'm going to go Mason Jones. I'm going to go by decision, but give me Mason Jones by KO on points. Let's go Mason Jones for the dub. That's probably one of my favorite fights on the card. I like this one as well. Guys, the main card is beautiful. Plus 152 for Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Roffi, minus 196. Guys, this is why I like to break it down now, because we saw it on Dana White Contender Series. The only guy to beat, I think Souza, the only guy to beat Mauricio Roffi by KO, and that was a crazy fight, guys. Roffi dropped him, and then Roffi, you know, he was getting tagged up a little bit, but Roffi was looking good in that fight. He was looking good. And then he did get caught. But he kind of was fading. I don't want to say he was fading, but His hands low and his style did lead him to get caught. Manuel Souza, guys, he just was getting grappled by Christian Perez. Man, was that a crazy comeback win. A beautiful comeback win, and that makes me even more excited to watch this fight and break it down. This is one of my most anticipated fights on the card, the Fighting Nerds. One of my favorite fighters from the Fighting Nerds as well, Mauricio Ruffy. Every time the UFC goes into a country, there's always some of the hometown people that lose. We saw Zhang Mingyang lose. He got his ass handed to in his hometown. Benoit Saint-Denis is 14-3 overall. Guys, we saw when it was, I believe, the main event, Benoit Saint-Denis versus Moicano. Benoit Saint-Denis fumbled the bag there too. Benoit Saint-Denis is 14-3 overall, 29 years old. His most two recent losses are to Dustin Poirier and Renato Moicano. And I believe he did lose to Zaleski. He's 6-3 in the UFC. He has 21 takedowns. Massive stat, considering he's only seen the third round once. He's a grappler, a relentless grappler at heart. I didn't like the way he looks against Kyle Prepelic, but hey, he still managed to get the job done and submit him. BSD is all gas, like a cinder block on a foot pedal, just going full 100%. And that could be a red flag, but it could also be good in this fight as well. The more deep and the more we zoom into this fight, I think BSD has more of a chance. He always looks to go to war, create chaos, match up against Mauricio Ruffy. Ruffy's a dangerous striker, has good footwork, and his timing is excellent. He only went the distance once in his entire career, and that was against James Liontop. And James Liontop is a tough son of a gun. He's 3-0 in the UFC, Mauricio Ruffy. Heavy hands, heavy kicks, throws with intent, but his accuracy is what makes it so one shot, like his nickname, so one shot. 12 wins, 11 finishes. Beautiful 1-2. I love his hands low style. You can feel his presence in the cage, but he can be a little flashy. And, you know, if you're throwing spinning wheel kicks, spinning heel kicks, that could leave you open to getting taken down if you show your back to your opponent. He can go a full 15. We saw him go a full 15. But, guys, I do think that, you know, in his one loss that I saw, he was, you know, getting tagged a little bit. You know, he can get a little tagged if you just bring it. If you just bring it. If you just bring it. If you throw the kitchen sink at him, you're going to land eventually. But obviously, it's about if he lands on you first. The pick is going to be Mauricio Ruffy. But guys, the more and more I zoom in, the more I can see Benoit Saint-Denis getting Ruffy down once. Maybe controlling him. Ruffy's kind of scooting back, using the cage to get right back up. I'm going to go Ruffy. I'm going to go by 2 or 3, around 2 or 3 KO. I can see Benoit Saint-Denis surviving the first round with the takedowns, the relentless pressure, all gas, no breaks. Kind of like what he did against Dustin Poirier. And we have to give him credit for that Dustin Poirier fight, guys. He won the first round against Dustin. And styles make fights, guys. Styles make fights. Give me Mauricio Ruffy. I'm going to go by KO or even by decision. I can see this being a true test for Ruffy and BSD. Let's go. Main event of the evening. Plus 100 for Nassourdine Imavov versus Kyle Borralho, minus 128. Do my eyes deceive me? Is that Imavov at plus money? Is that the future champ at plus money? Let's break it down. Main event of the evening, boys and girls. Here we go. The fight. This fight and RDR versus Fluffy fight are both #1 contender fights. It just depends on who wins in more better, fantastic, spectacular fashion. This should be a great main event. Middleweight is a shark tank. Middleweight is slowly becoming one of my favorite divisions. Imavov is 16-4. I remember the day he lost to Phil Hawes. Man, he's gotten so much better since then. His only 2 losses in the UFC are Strickland at catchweight, who Strickland was 220 pounds, using that weight to his full advantage, and Phil Hawes. And guys, he went a full 5 rounds with Strickland. Imavov is only 29 years old. 6'3", a true technician at heart, beautiful footwork, great counter striker. I like his style, can wrestle as well, has cardio for a full 25, and he has won a full 25 minutes twice against Delija and against Strickland. He has been scheduled to go 5 rounds, a full 5 rounds 4 times. Imavov has a hole in his grappling department. Brendan Allen was having success, and he took a round off of him by completely controlling him in that first round. But I will say, guys, that fight was needed because I needed to see Imavov in a position where where somebody's on his back and how does he deal with it. He was very composed and he was willing to give up that round to come back heavy the second and third. Brendan Allen gassed and Imavov won the second and third round. Guys, I like it when Imavov faces adversity. Even against Joaquin Buckley. I love that masterclass that Imavov had on Buckley. Matched up against BJJ specialist Caio Borralho. Borralho is part of the Fighting Nerds. He has belts in both Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. Caio is 17-1. His only loss is by decision. He even had a grappling bout with Jailton Almeida, which is something I like to see. I like to see him grappling. You know, I like it when people like Rinat grapple with Craig Jones. I like it, guys. I like that. It's very important to get grappling. It's very important to sharpen all your tools. Excuse me. Caio is 7-0 in the UFC, but we have seen him end up on bottom, go for takedowns, end up on his back, and we've seen him face adversity. I believe against Godsey, it was a pretty close fight. Caio looked amazing against Jared Cannonier. He let his hands go and he was practicing his hands, and I know he hurt Jared very bad, but he was also controlling him when he was on top. They were both very, very tired in that 5th round. I can see the scrambles and Caio taking down Imavov, and Imavov slowly scooting up, using the cage to get right back up and getting right back up. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if Caio can take down Imavov in the middle of the cage. I do think that Imavov does have a massive hole in his takedown defense. I believe he was trying to take down and wrestle Izzy, and it didn't work. Imavov is going to look to keep this fight on the feet, keep it striking. Phil Hawes was ragdolling Imavov. And guys, I feel like Imavov is a guy who, if you get in his face, he kind of tends to, you know, like the way that Strickland fight went. I love Imavov. I love him. But we all have holes, and we do have some things that we need to sharpen. I'm counting on Imavov to keep this fight in the middle, learn from the losses from Strickland and Phil Hawes, and keep his takedown defense on point. Keep the striking at his pace and put the pressure on Caio. Put the pressure. Imavov can crack through Caio's guard. This will be a close fight. I can see Imavov losing the first 2 rounds and then winning the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm banking on Imavov to be a workhorse, but Caio is a workhorse as well, and him being the favorite means that a lot of guys they believe in his grappling. They really do. Caio has cut weight twice in a span of 3 weeks. He was the backup for 319. Imavov is going to be the pick. Nassourdine Imavov to win by KO points. I can even see him threatening the Gilly just to get a sweep. You know, Caio is, holding him against the fence, trying to go for a takedown, and Imavov, threatening a choke in order to gain respect, in order to get him off of him. You have to gain respect because Caio's going to keep on going. And I will say, guys, this is a beautiful matchup, guys. Give me give me Nassourdine Imavov to win this fight by KO points. Imavov by 48-47, 49-46, and 48-47. I think he's going to lose the first 2 rounds and then win 3, 4, and 5. Give me Nassourdine Imavov for the dub. Let me know what you guys think, guys. A little bit of a longer video, but we went more in deep. We got a magnifying glass and we zoomed in. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think, guys. God bless, of course. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And 6 best bets on Wednesday if you guys don't watch the live streams. I want to say thank you to all the love that you guys have been giving me. The live streams have been being more fun. We got more people coming in the lives. So if you see the notification, hit the bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful week and a great weekend. God bless. Peace. The best is blessed. Hey, peace.